Unlimited money in the world. What is your 5-car garage?
See, that's really hard. I'm going to say it's what I've got.
Really?
That's really cool. I am, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's what I've got. I think what I've got is me. I would say if I had all the money in the world, I probably wouldn't have anything different to what I've got now.
Fair play.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Yeah, and I can take my 911 out for a good old blast, and then I can come back, put it away, get the Cavalier out, and that gives me just as much pleasure.
I like that.
Have you actually got a cool car for every day of the week?
I think I have, yeah.
That's really good as well.
Yeah. I think
I could drive a different car every day of the week if I wanted.
Cool. Welcome to Gasoline Junkies. I'm Russell.
I'm Barry.
And we're joined today by
Dave
and
Lee.
Nice to meet you, Lee. Thank you for coming on.
It's okay.
Obviously, we've seen Dave before. Was you the first or second one?
I was 3, wasn't I?
Oh, number three.
Yeah,
number
three.
Yeah, so it's good.
I'm only here for moral backup.
I'm surprised you invited him back.
We didn't really have a choice. He just turned up. He just turned up and sat down.
Do you get like a prize if you get 3?
I think so.
3 visits.
Like a hat trick ball,
Yeah. Well, I think you almost.
I'm only here to sing to Lee.
Oh yeah. I've got mine with P's and Q's today.
Yeah, and I got.
Well, you don't have to. Barry does.
No, I've got.
No, I don't mind.
Game on the Barry don't mind.
Yeah, we're going
I've
to.
just got to watch what stories he tells about me. That's all.
Yeah, clip around the back of the head. Right. So, could you start by telling us what you actually drive?
What, on a daily basis?
Just go through it because I know you've got many cars.
So on a daily basis, just my little Connect van. That's
okay.
it.
Right.
That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I love a Transit Connect though.
But he hasn't come on for the Connect.
So
it is a bit customised though, isn't it?
It's a little bit modded, but not too terrible.
It's just like wheels and skirts.
Wheels and just making it. Well, it just makes it mine.
Yeah.
That's
Pimps
it.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Could do with a clean right now. So cars in the garage. Yeah.
Yes.
So Mark 1 Escort, K plate, in dry build at the minute.
Right.
So nowhere near finished.
What model?
It was an 1100L Mark 1
Okay.
Escort. So started life with, I believe, just one lady owner. I think I'm only the second or third owner.
Oh wow.
The guy I got it from was obviously the second owner. He bought it as a complete car. Took the engine and box out and wanted to resto it, mod it, whatever, and just basically gave up. And I brought it without an engine and box, and it's sat in my garage probably since. Well, I've owned it probably since 2009-ish, 2010.
Yeah.
Well, it was at your house when you built the extension.
Yeah, it was at
wasn't
my.
it?
Yeah, it
You
was
sit
all,
in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it was it was under covering my garden for quite a while they built my garage, and so now, as it currently sits now, it's a welded shell. With I've got loads of components for it, and it's just
full wide body.
Yeah, so it's full like Group 4 sort of rally spec, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's cage, all steel, wings.
What engine's going to be?
2 litre Z-Tech, 2 litre Z-Tech.
On throttle bodies or anything?
On throttle bodies with Mazda. I'm not sure. I'm going to go Mazda MX-5 gearbox.
Okay.
Atlas rear axle.
But that's all done in it. All the 4 links are all done in and welded.
All the shell is literally ready to go. So I think I've got 9 per 15 revolutions going on it.
Oh, best wheel.
Yeah, so it's
Massive
real cool
15.
car.
Massive 15s. No, honestly, best wheel.
But that's the last car I'm ever going to do. So it's got to be. I've got to go out of a blaze of glory with that. So my previous Mark 1. I loved it to bits, but there was things I wish I'd have done to that I'm now going to do to this one. It's going to be a little bit more comfy, a bit more, now I'm 20 years older, it needs to be a little bit easier to drive than the last one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one car. I've got the Mark 3 Escort, RS 1600i, which is very close to being done. I should be out in that this summer, with any luck. So that's been quite a while.
Our guest last week, Claire, old school friend of ours, her favourite car in the entire world is an RS 1600i.
It's an absolutely beautiful looking car. I think the styling of it for a Mark 3 Escort is the best they did. And it was definitely a homologation car for like the British touring car. And again, really rare. To find a good one is really hard.
Yeah.
Really hard.
I feel you bought it. Sorry, Dave. You bought it as a bare shell.
I brought it as a kit. So basically,
it's all in pieces.
It was a welded shell, and all the parts for it were all boxed up, and that's how I brought it. And I just had to fathom it out from there on.
Yeah, well, since the podcast last week, me and Claire were talking through like socials and stuff, and we were going through like rabbit holes of trying to find Mark III Escorts for sale. We found a RS1600i replica. That was for sale for 30 grand or something, but it didn't have the twin coils or anything. Yeah. Just looked the part. Yeah. I think the closest one I found was a white one, and it was up north of 50 grand for a proper Minter.
Proper RS.
Yeah, proper RS16i, one owner from new. It was immaculate.
I haven't got much paperwork with it, but I know I've got quite a bit of history. The guy I brought it off. It was his uncle's car for many years, and they lived on a farm in like Worksop way, sort of Nottingham way. And it was his uncle's car for many years, and he drove it till it went rotten. And then the nephew, who the guy I brought it from, started the resto, so he stripped it, he welded it all, done a good job of all the welding. And then kids come along, as it does, married life, and he just didn't touch it for ages, so he just let it go.
Just wanted to finish and paint it,
and then
put it back together.
I basically just had to prep the shell, prime it, paint it, and then I got the shell back literally about 3 or 4 days before lockdown.
Oh, really?
And I built the car throughout lockdown.
It kept you sane.
It kept me sane, mate. Yeah, I was up my garage pretty much every day building that car. So yeah, there we are. And since like probably a couple of years, I haven't touched it. I've just recently got back onto it, so we're getting there now.
So are you doing that to sell it, or are you doing that to
No, I'm going to keep it, I think.
I won't let him sell it.
I'm definitely...
I won't let you sell it.
We've got a guy coming in a couple of weeks' time. He's got Danny's brother.
I literally have... there's no stone unturned. I had Aldridge trimming do all the seats. I mean, they are like drum tight. Like you see a lot of them with really baggy Recaros
That's something that lets them down, isn't it?
Even
though it's a nice clean car, you'll always see it even like a RS Cosworth with baggy seats.
Yeah, baggy seats. Yeah. I think the one thing on them hatchbacks as well is no 6x9 cutouts in the parcel shelf.
I've got no cutouts in the shelf.
No. It's just a little thing.
Everyone did it, didn't they?
Yeah, I managed to source a real mint carpet. And I've got a brand new dash gone in it. I found loads of good stuff, and all the original trims, all the original plastics. I've actually repainted all them.
Okay,
it sounds crazy, but you can get there's stuff on the market now that you can get that replicates the finish and
the spoiler finish and the front dam finish and everything. It's just you look at it, you would never know that it had been finished. Would you?
No, when you look at the front of the car, it does look like a brand new car.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Beautiful.
It's.
You have to come over one.
No, I will. Please.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Please.
You're welcome.
Please.
It's literally a half hour away, isn't it?
Yeah. It's trying to get rid of it, and that's the problem.
I've got plenty of room. You can stay.
Yeah, bring a camp bed.
So then I've got obviously my trusty Cavalier. I've had that since either late 07 or early 08. I bought that car a real long time ago, and since it's been restored, I've never touched it since. It's still as good today as what it was when I finished it, because it is kept inside now and only driven. High days, if you like, and sunny days. So
this is a GSI 2000, by the way, which you just don't see on the road. Bloody old pokey Cavalier.
I mean, for the millions they made in Luton, I mean, they didn't make the GSI there. That was German only. But you just don't see them. Even the ordinary Cav, Smart Free Cavs. Just if you go to a show, I guarantee there won't be one there.
No, there won't.
So, and everyone says, "Oh, my dad used to have one of them as a company car," or that, So I love that car. And people get surprised when I say it'll be the last car I ever sell, because I absolutely love that car.
But you've got a massive history with Vauxhall, really.
Oh, I have.
You used to work at Vauxhall.
Yeah, I used to work at Vauxhall. In my younger days, my early driving days, I always had Vauxhall cars. Always, I've strings of them.
Yeah. And we'll get onto that in a little question, but just please carry on with this.
The next car in the garage is a 72 XJ12, so a short wheelbase Jaguar XJ12, so it's a V12 5.3, and again that's a low owner car. I stripped it, painted it, restored it if you like. It wasn't rotten, it just needed a bit of love, and that's currently
The colour that you painted that, is that the original colour?
So it's painted from factory in a colour called lavender, which is like a sort of lilac blue, but it's got dark blue leather and a dark blue.
It's
stunning. And all the leather's been redone.
Dark blue Webasto as well, full length Webasto roof. Again, that car's still got its original front screen in it and everything.
Really?
Yeah. It's so original in one way.
Lavender and blue.
Yeah.
You say it shouldn't work, but
the only thing you've changed from factory is wheels and load, isn't it?
Yeah, wheels, and it's on IBACs.
Every car needs lowering, though.
Yeah. But that's just because
Chris is shaking his head.
That's just me, though. I just like my cars to be just slightly different.
Yeah.
The RS 1600i is totally stock, by the way. That's the first time I've ever done anything.
Still keeping the 7 spokes on
everything. It's totally stock. Yeah. And then the last car, how many is that?
You've done that. You've got that other Cavalier in the middle that you did.
Yeah, there's a ratty old Cavalier I've got in my garage as well. Which
VXR car?
Yeah, Astra VXR engine going in that. But that is literally just to use up loads of bits I've got left over.
Yeah,
and was that just another saloon?
Yeah, just a saloon.
Just a
I stopped it from going to the scrapyard, and I thought, you know what, I can find a little home for that. So I must be mad.
So is that going to be like the original spec of what it was? I assume it's not a GSI or a turbo or anything.
It's just an ordinary Cavalier.
1.6 was it?
1.8 it was.
Yeah, like a 1.8 L or something with VXR engine in it.
Sleeper.
Love it.
It'll look a little bit like a turbo. With some nice rims on it, and then it'll have that underneath. So, but that I will do, and I'll use it for probably a month or two, and then that'll go. That's just literally to use up a few bits and bobs I've got lying around.
I might have to give you my number when it's complete.
Yeah.
There's only one more then.
There's only one more, and then obviously this is a bit of a, lifetime achievement. So I've got a 2022 Shark Blue GT3 911.
It's absolutely gorgeous as well, yeah.
So I've had that
18 months?
Yeah, about 18 months now. So, yeah.
And what was the process of buying that? Because I know, Dave, you mentioned that you toyed with the idea of getting it for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I sort of studied them for about 6 months or more. And obviously, they're a lot of money, and I was a bit nervous about buying one. And I had to sell a few cars to get it. And then I just kept looking. I knew what spec I wanted, and I was adamant I wanted a one owner car, because they do go through a few owners in their first maybe 1 or 2 years. People buy them for just a summer and then get rid of them. So I wanted something that someone had from new. So yeah, I found this particular car in. Porsche in Chester. Went up and had a look at it, and the sad thing is I brought it on Black Friday, I think, like a year, not November gone, but the November before.
Was it at half price?
No, I wish it was. I wish it was, but they did discount it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, a little bit. But it was delivered to my house like the end of November 23, and of course I couldn't drive it till like April 24. So it sat in my garage undercover all that time. I couldn't do anything with it. Yeah. The weather was just dreadful. Yeah. So
I put them in the garage loads of times, sitting going.
But I do put it away like beginning of November till April anyway. I did that last year. So yeah, it's a bit of a toy.
Dry car, isn't it? It's just a dry car.
Dry car, 100%.
And have you been out on it much since?
Yeah, I've done 1,500 miles in it. Yeah, in the pretty much last season, and I've already started using it at the beginning of April this year. I'm going to Germany in it in July.
Oh, nice.
So I'm visiting the Porsche factory and the museum and all that. So
Nürburgring?
Yeah, but I'm not taking that round. I'm not that brave. I am having a taxi ride in a GT3 round the track, but not with my car. I think too much
at stake. Even when someone was talking the other day about if you cause the ring downtime, it's so much for lost revenue for people that can be out on the track. It's so much for recovery. It's so much for the per metre of barrier. It's just
I couldn't live with myself.
Someone took a £3,000 car around there, whacked it, and ended up with like a 20 grand bill.
Yeah.
can't remember who was talking.
I think I said something about it on a previous podcast because some people I know.
Was it when Ollie was here the other day?
Possibly, yes.
Could have been, yeah.
Yes, I know some guys who took cars, didn't think about insurance, anything like that, and come back with 20 odd grand bills.
It's just not.
It's just whatever you do, there will be a charge against it. If you scrape the barrier, if they see it, whatever,
And it's not always your fault.
No.
Sorry, I just the mic. It's not always your fault. Some clown in front can lose it, and you go round them, and you lose it yourself.
You get the bill.
What they've done has caused you to go off.
Yeah. I would never put myself in that position. I ain't got enough talent to put my car down there, do you know what I mean?
We've just seen you on a car.
Yeah, mate. I wear glasses though. Come on.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I'm getting a taxi ride. But the only thing I'll be taking with me in there is probably a sick bag. So I reckon I might need it. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to
my
that.
old the company I used to work for, we used to do a lot of work for Jaguar Land Rover, and my boss, lucky sod, we went to fit the workshop for Jaguar at the Nürburgring.
Right.
And he got a taxi ride with, I can't remember the name, but it was in a 5-door fast Jag.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And he got out and threw up.
Yeah.
He said it was that violent and that vicious.
Apparently it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, right. I thought you were joking.
No, seriously, because they're professional racing drivers.
Yeah.
Well, you think they probably do it 10 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's called Misha apparently, and he's mustard. Apparently he's mustard.
He's got a YouTube channel, Misha Chowdhury.
Yeah,
he's fucking brilliant.
He's mustard.
He is so good.
So if, if he makes me throw up, I'll just give him a high five.
Lorraine nearly threw up when we went round Pro Drive at Warwick in a WRX.
Oh really?
Yeah, she made the instructor stop. She went, stop, I'm going to be sick. And that was just on the wet skid pan bit.
Oh really?
Yeah, it wasn't even.
Yeah,
she was.
if his YouTube videos are anything to go by, that Misha.
Well, a mate of mine took me around Bedford Autodrome in his Yaris GR, and I was rough for 2 hours after that. So I don't know what I'm going to.
I love those cars.
Yeah.
Right, so you've told us about your current cars.
Yep.
Tell us about your car history. If it's anything as impressive as your.
Do you remember your first car?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I don't know if you guys are old enough, do you know what I mean? My first car was a 1972 Vauxhall Viva HC.
Viva. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah,
it wasn't the coolest car in the world.
I wasn't born, but I remember
Trust me, right? All my mates were getting Mark 1 Escorts. So my best mate I went to school with, his mum and dad brought him a brand new XR2, funny enough.
Oh, really?
For his first car. And I had to make do with this HC Viva. But it was great. I loved it. But after a few times of driving it, after I passed my test, I did come home and say to my dad, you need to get me some radials because it's got cross-ply tyres on it and I think I'm going to die if I go out in the rain again. And I ended up putting a set of Rostyles on it with radials on. I think they were Michelin XZX, is it?
Yeah.
And then, I still wrote it off.
I was going to say, do you remember those?
I still wrote it off.
Remember your first reg?
No, I don't. My missus would be able to tell you.
I thought that would be a question.
I remember it from my first
I can
car.
remember my third
and
my fourth, but not my first.
How can you remember the third and fourth down?
Because my third car was a black Capri.
Oh, nice.
Only 3 years old at the time. And I remember it was KVX 211Y. It was an absolute cracker of a car.
Cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Knob or something like that. That's
Do you ever check it, see what it's still about?
No, it's long gone, mate.
Yeah,
long gone.
Do you remember his first number plate?
I didn't know him. I didn't know him when he first started driving because he used to live in Chelmsford.
I used to live in Essex, yeah. So a bit of an Essex boy, wasn't I? So that's why I had a...
We didn't meet till I was about early 20s, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was... it was probably when we were around about 20-ish. 2021, something like that.
Yeah.
Right, let's get back to how many cars you've had.
So that was your third. You've gone first, third. What was your second?
Second.
Come on,
Do I have to
No, go on.
Own up.
Talbot Avenger.
A Talbot Avenger.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
Like a Hillman Avenger, but like a slightly more
version.
Yeah, Talbot Avenger. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was almost like the roots group equivalent of a Cortina at the time.
I think maybe it might have even been called a Chrysler Avenger.
Right.
Okay.
But I can't remember its Talbot
I've
Chrysler.
got some pictures of an Avenger.
There you go.
Oh, it does.
Big square headlights, and it was that blue colour as well.
Was it bottom left?
Yeah, that blue colour.
Yeah.
Right.
They do the purple as well.
Another uncool car. So for the first two cars, I didn't really know what I was doing.
You weren't really a petrolhead.
Yeah. I was, but I don't know what happened. But
So HC, then Avenger,
then the Capri.
Then you went Capri and got Sensible.
Yeah, then the Capri. Then I sold the Capri when I finished my.
Was that just like a 1.6?
That was a 1.6 LS.
Right.
But it was black with a deep dish like steels. It was a lovely car, immaculate car. It was. I got that off my dad's friend. It was his wife's car. She'd had it from new, and it was absolutely mint. And I cherished that car. I absolutely cherished it. I loved it.
Everyone loves a Capri.
I've still got pictures of it when you know, back in the day when me and my missus were obviously young. We've got pictures of us with the car and all sorts. It's great. Yeah, I love that car.
Cool.
And I sold it and brought a brand new Astra van on an F plate.
Okay.
That's when I'd finished my apprenticeship and I went self-employed as a chippy.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that was my fourth car.
Wow.
So I had that. And then after that, I can't remember.
I think as them car-derived vans, I'm going to big this up a little bit. The Astra van was probably the best.
I used to drive to London.
I genuinely agree.
I loved that Astra van.
Yeah, I used to drive to London in it a lot, and it was great. I absolutely loved that van. Yeah, and it was good because it was my first new car. You know, it was all right. Or new purchase.
Yeah,
whatever. I remember
Mark II.
Mark II on an F plate. Yeah, so I remember it was £5,500.
Wow.
On the road.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Shit. Imagine that now.
5,500. And I part X the Capri, or I sold the Capri to a local dealer and then used. I think I got 3,000 for the Capri.
Oh wow.
And I had to put like a couple of grand down. Yeah. I remember it was 5,500. I brought that from County Motorworks in Chelmsford, and that was LVX. LVX 9 something. F936 LVX. That's it. It come to me in the end.
Very good.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
So after the van, you had.
After the van, we had a couple of old bangers because we bought our first house. So we had a couple of old bangers, like just runners for a year or so, till we got going again, you know. And then I think the next good car I brought, once the initial shock of buying a house was over, I brought an almost new Cavalier GSI.
Okay.
Is that where the passion comes from? Yeah.
I think so, but that was a total loss car, and I reshelled it. I brought a brand new shell, body shell, and built it all into, the crash damage one into a brand new shell, and that's where my sort of love for repairing total losses came from. That was my start, really. So yeah, I had loads. After that, I had a 16-valve GTE, which probably Dave mentioned in his last. That was the one where he fell asleep.
Fell asleep, and he nudged me, and we're doing 137
the speedo. The speedo wouldn't go past whatever it was.
137.
Yeah, that was
a Mark II.
Yeah, Mark II. That's as far as it would go. You couldn't get it to go anymore.
Lovely.
That's mad.
They were fast as
hell.
They were fast cars
for their day.
But then when you compare, I mean, they're 150...
156 horsepower they were, yeah.
So, but then my daughter had a 1 litre Fiesta with 150 horsepower.
We were saying this the other day, actually.
Modern cars...
But you've hit my I'll get my terminology right, my eldest daughter's boyfriend... He's got a little Fiesta EcoBoost, SC line, something or other. And even that's got 140 horsepower, but it weighs
nothing.
It's about 1,500 kilos. It's surprisingly heavy. But then those, it's like the Mark II GTEs, there's no creature comforts per se on them.
Was that a digital dash?
Yeah. I should have done it the other way around, really. I should have had the GTE first and then the Cavalier afterwards, because as much as I love the GTE, it was nowhere near as good as handling as the Cavalier. Yeah. And that was I had a few offs with that.
They're the same engine, aren't they? The 2 litre XC.
It was so such a nightmare car in the wet. Bad. Yeah.
Imagine being woken up to 137 mile an hour.
Just a little nudge on it like that.
I just literally nudged him and went, "Oi!" And he went, "Woo!"
But that's the one that got cloned as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it got cloned.
We reckon that he was living with me at the time.
Oh man, it was dreadful.
And he used to park it. I could see it from my bedroom window, and he was just park it on the corner. And do you remember a couple of parking tickets come through?
Yeah, I was getting parking tickets from Hatton Garden, like all the jewellery area of London.
I got another parking ticket for Hatton Garden. He goes, I've never been to Hatton Garden.
Like, someone's cloned it.
So
one night, I was in bed, 2 o'clock in the morning, his mum rang up and she goes, where's Lee? I said, he's in bed. She goes, where's his car? I went, well, probably outside on the path.
No, then the police knocked on the door.
Yeah.
Police bang, bang, bang on the door.
I looked out the window and the car. I said, I can see the car outside. And she went, I said, what's the panic? She said, just been involved in a hit and run in Harlow.
Yeah.
Some bloke, she's had a crash in it, jumped out and run away.
Yeah.
So it was only then that we worked out it had a clone. So what we think is someone had seen it on a low loader as a bit of salvage.
Yeah.
And gone, oh, we use that.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be restored.
Or I used to drive from like Baldock to Chelmsford via Harlow and Hoddesdon and all that way, and it was actually Hoddesdon it got crashed.
Oh, was it Hoddesdon? I thought it was Harlow.
And I reckon someone had seen it, clocked the plate, cloned it, and that's where all the parking tickets came from.
Right.
And back in the day then, there was obviously no internet, no nothing.
Yeah.
You used to have to do everything by phone.
Yeah.
And I rung...
And you could just go in anywhere and just get plates, couldn't you? You didn't need any proof of ownership or anything.
The parking tickets were building up real bad.
They would think, you could ring them going, these aren't mine, but they were going, well, it's your registration number and the description is your car, so you are liable for them. And it wasn't until the car got smashed up in the hit and run, they kind of went, oh, okay, there's a clone out there somewhere.
Basically,
they wiped it all.
once the police had been round and read, because they made me open my bonnet, checked all my chassis numbers, everything. Once they realised my car was the right car, then once I had that police report or that crime reference number, I then went back to the parking, the parking fine people and said, this is what's happened. You're
lucky you wrote off then.
Oh, we were, because otherwise he's still
I think he wouldn't have a GT3.
I think he hit 2 or 3 parked cars and run off.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. But the guy who run off didn't fit my description either. So
did you ever get a speeding ticket for 137 mile an hour?
No.
You blamed him for it as well.
Blame the clones.
Thank God.
Is there anything else significant after the Cav? Up to what you've currently got.
The one I remember, one of my favourite cars from back then in the 90s, shall we say, as I had and my missus will vouch for this, she loved this car. I had a V6 Cavalier Saloon.
I can appreciate that.
An auto as well.
Oh, wow.
And that was a proper bit of kit, that was. That was a quick car.
Yeah.
That was a quick car. Good car, that was.
And the Vectra. You had a V6 Vectra.
Yeah, V6 Vectra.
White one.
Yeah.
The Super Touring car.
Yeah, Super Touring, that's with that style.
And that was a saloon, wasn't it? Wasn't
Yes, yeah, that
it?
was.
It was like a proper touring car.
Yeah, Astra
They had the
GSI.
MSD bits on them, didn't they?
Yeah, MSD. Yeah, so I had 2 Vectras, didn't I? I had
a wagon, didn't you?
No, I never had a wagon. I had a white Phase 1 Vectra, 2.5 litre Vectra.
Yeah.
Then later on, I had a proper GSI saloon, a silver one.
That's right.
They're good looking cars back then.
Yeah, they were good cars. Good
Yeah,
cars.
the 16 valve was bland as fuck.
Yeah,
It really, because my mum and dad had a burgundy one,
Yeah.
2 litre 16 valve. But some of our friends, when I was like in the Vauxhall scene, one of them had the Super Touring one, and we all went over to Belgium in one, and there was a red one as well, which was a
200.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Super Touring 200.
Super Touring 200.
That's where the speed lines come from that are on my Cavalier.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it had the little yellow badges or something on them as well.
The little blades, weren't they? Like that.
Stunning car, but it's just the simple wheels and bumpers just made that car look so good.
A GSI 200 or Super Touring 200 is very, very rare now. Very rare. Probably only a handful left.
Yeah.
I think there's even one estate floating around as well. Very rare car. They were expensive when they come out. That was about 97, 98 they came out. They were real. I was working at the plant then. I remember we used to get a news bulletin, and I remember when they like signed it all off and they were due to come out. They were loads of money. They were probably double the price of a normal SRI V6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were a lot of money.
They were good. They sounded like
they were
amplified thunder.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they come with like the 200 come with the speed lines, AP brakes in red.
Yeah, they did.
And a few other little colours. They were very, very rare cars.
Oh, nice.
Would have been nice to get hold of one of them. To be fair,
very, very nice cars. Anything else?
just a string of just everyday ordinary cars, right leading up, to...
What did you sell to get the Porsche? You sold 2 cars, didn't you?
I sold 4.
Oh, did you?
No, 3. 3. I've really, the Jag's in the firing line. My V12 has probably got to go.
All right.
By the time I'd got the Porsche, I sort of planned to sell 4. And I only got around to selling 3 because of the time of year it was. And then last year, I just kept driving the V12. Every time I drove it, I thought, no, I can't. But I have probably, in all honesty, got to let that go. So I sold a Mark 1 Focus RS, which was immaculate. I sold...
They command so much money now.
They have dropped a little bit in the last 12 months. But when I sold mine, it was they were at their peak a bit. So mine was... a 39,000 mile car. It was proper.
My pal's got one for sale at the moment.
Tidy.
Similar mine.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's
proper
selling.
tidy.
I love them.
So I sold that. I sold my Mrs. Tiguan R.
Okay.
She had a nice Tiguan R. That was beautiful. I sold that, and I part X'd. I had a Jaguar XKRS.
Nice.
Coupe, which had only done 8,000 miles.
It's like a treasure chest of cars.
Getting the Audi.
No, that was before.
Was it?
Yeah, so the Audi, so I'll come to that in a bit. So they're the 3 cars I sold to buy the Porsche. I actually Pi X the Jag with the Porsche dealer.
That's right.
And I'd had that since it was 2.5 years old. It was on like 3,000 miles when I got it. And that was built, that was quite a special car really. I don't regret selling it, but I do miss it in one way or another. I'd had it quite a long time, 7 odd years I think. But that was built last month for production, so July 14 I think that car was built. It was registered in September 14, so it's a very, very late XK.
Yeah.
And it was dressed in all the carbon from factory, all the carbon bonnet vents, side blades. It was a real special car, and it was so quick, so quick. And when I Pi X'd it, had 8,000 miles on the clock.
That's nothing.
No,
insane,
nothing.
isn't it?
But I got my money back on that car on a Pi X deal against the 911.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good going.
Yeah.
It is really good going actually.
Yeah.
So I've lost count of how many cars that was because I've got...
So named about 17.
Oh, mate, there's so many more.
I'm sure
Can't
there is.
even remember. Especially if you count your cars.
Since I've had since Dave sent me the, try and remember all your cars and that. Me and my missus have sat down a couple of times. It's easy over 100.
Oh, really?
Oh, easy. I couldn't have possibly written them all down.
No,
you would have been here forever.
There's cars that I've forgotten. I mean, like that beautiful little GSI Astra you did, the yellow one.
Yeah.
Things
Mark
like
III.
that were just like a little reshell,
Yeah.
but it'd buy it right off, do a reshell,
Yeah.
and then run it for 6 months and it'd go, and then it'd be another reshell. So it's been a constant kind of...
Probably back in the day when I was like really going for it, when my family were growing up, I was constantly doing them. Do you know what I mean?
There was always something on the drive.
Driving them for 6 months, making a bit, selling them, and that's how I got to.
Some you just did just to make a bit of money.
Yeah, just some.
This isn't your profession, is it? This is just a...
No, so
it's just a hobby.
No, it was my profession.
Oh, it was
in
your
the
profession.
End, yeah. So I started off as a chippy, and then decided that I wanted to pursue cars. So I then went and worked for a body shop, and that's how it.
Okay.
That's how it progressed. And in the end, I ended up starting my own shop in late 2006, early 07, and I owned that till August 17.
Okay.
And I sold the business, and then I've sort of just bummed around ever since.
So do you do just bodywork or mechanics as well?
I can do both.
Oh, can you?
I can do both. I mean, but mechanics, not deep mechanics, but everyday kind of mechanics, no problem. So yeah. So that's how it sort of went on really, and I just kept building and building until I got to where I sort of am today.
Fair play.
Yeah, no.
Fair play.
Yeah.
So that's 100, Chris.
Over.
He's at the top. So I'm going to test your mind quickly now.
Go on,
out of all the cars you've had,
Yeah.
what's the one car you wish you still had? Out of all of them, if there's one that just instantly springs to mind.
There are days where I still wish I had my RS6.
I don't blame you, to be honest.
But again, I had it for a period of time. I enjoyed it, loved it. But then I realised it's before it loses too much money, it's got to go.
Was that an Avant?
Yeah, they're all
Advanced, aren't they?
So that was a C8 RS6. So 2021. It was quite recent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did 20 months, I think.
That's the one with the slightly flared wheel arches.
It's the current RS6.
Oh, the current one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was a proper animal.
That's the one Tom Hardy drives in Mobland.
Yes, it is.
If you've been watching
and I was getting to that. That is one of my questions. So, or one of my answers.
So the TV car.
Yeah.
TV car.
My movie TV cars. If you want.
I was watching it the other day. I think it was last week's one. He's like, gives the keys to his missus, like drive the car. I'm like, no, don't.
I can't pick just one movie TV car. I mean, if I was going to go for the ultimate, I'd probably say Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay, that's come up a lot. No, but something funny that.
But modern, I'd say that.
No, we were watching Mobland last night because we can't go a Sunday. We can't start a new week without watching the latest Mobland.
Cool.
And seeing Tom Hardy, who I think both me and my missus fancy massively, him driving that car through London, it's just like.
That's an animal.
Every time one comes in your mirror on the motorway, you just have to turn the stereo down and wind your window because the noise of one of them just gliding past. They don't have to be on it. It's stunning.
That is an absolute.
It's almost like a light aircraft.
It's a phenomenal car. It's two cars in one. That's the only way I can describe it. The one Tom Hardy drives is an RS6 Performance. So that's like the upgraded Audi version RS6, if you like. That's not long been out. I think about a year.
Oh, okay.
Mine was an RS6 Vorsprung.
Okay.
Which was a beautiful car, but again, a clever car. Two cars in one. You can drive it round town. It's like being in a Bentley. It's so quiet, so smooth. Then if you hit the angry button, well, oh my God. It's just a different car altogether. We had a question
the other day saying if you used to rob a bank, what car would you use? And
100%.
Pretty much
100%.
Yeah.
Proper good car, but
it's either that or something that's really inconspicuous, like a Fiat Panda. You just doodle through like Mr. Bean.
We did go down that route, but then it was like, would you get your loot in? So it's kind
of we went off on a bit. I went off on a bit of a tangent.
Fiat Panda with a trailer.
I've always my favourite RS6 has got to be the one at the start of Layer Cake.
Yeah, Layer
Cake. If you've
seen
it,
Daniel Craig.
I lose track of what it is. Like the latest one's a C8. That one's
I think that's a. Is it a?
I lose track of which one's which, but that one's always been
the early one.
That is the very early one. Yeah.
That's the original RS6.
The original RS6. I think that was.
Mine was a C8. I know the one before was a C7. I think there's a C6.
C6, yeah.
And I don't know.
Don't know what it was.
I think maybe the original RS6 was before that.
No idea.
But I don't know. I'm not that.
But I think since Mobland yesterday, my new favourite car in the world is an RS6.
Every time I see it,
Such a cool car. I'd have another one tomorrow. To be fair.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
Where did the love for cars come from?
Good question. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Don't know. From when I was a kid, a tiny little boy, I remember my nan had a little red Mini with a black roof, and I absolutely loved that car. She had a little classic Mini with a black roof, and I just always used to love cars. I've always loved cars.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like
it's definitely from when I was a kid. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Always cars.
Because there's always something that we discuss, isn't it? We kind of elaborate on this a little bit. Like for me, I was never particularly great at sports. I was great at like athletics and stuff like that, but I just remember just loving cars since I was a kid. My mum and dad had a large garden in our first house, and I just used to drive around in a fucking pedal car thing.
Do you not find people who either like football
or cars?
Yeah.
They always go one way or the other. They go, you're not in football?
Yeah.
You must be in the cars then.
Yeah, you must be in the cars. Yeah.
I remember my my sort of earliest memories really was probably my nan's Mini. And I just love cars anyway, but then my dad had a Mark II Cortina GT.
Okay.
A two-door one. And I loved that car as well, but it had to go because it was rotten back in the day. I'll never forget when he had to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. I think my dad had a 1600E Mark II white.
Yeah, my dad had a Cortina.
And then he had strings of
Mark III,
strings of company cars, But Mark II two-door GT is a rare car now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember the handbrake used to be here. You used to pull the handbrake from the dash.
From the dashboard?
Yeah, and in a GT, the handbrake was there, just under the dash. You used to pull it up.
I'd have to ask my dad what Cortina he had. This is what I broke the window.
Yeah, I think it had a bench seat. I
thought it was Dukes of Hazzard. So climbing in and out the window, and the window was up. So I jumped through it.
Like you do.
Dickhead. Would you own an electric car?
No way.
Not at all?
No way. No.
I think given
a Scale Electrics car maybe, but no. Definitely not a Duracell road car. No way. No way. I think I'd give up driving. Yeah. Or I think I'd get my push bike out.
Yeah, I think given the car collection, I think that's a pretty valid answer.
Definitely.
I might just about consider like
Taycan.
No, like a mild hybrid, but not a plug-in one, because that would really do me in.
Yeah, so what the BMW i8, that's a hybrid, isn't it? But that's not a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
And I see what that. I drove one of them drove past me yesterday, and I was like, that is a beautiful looking car. And I think
my missus had a MHEV Puma.
Yeah.
Recently, which is a non-plug-in sort of mild hybrid or whatever.
Yeah.
A great fun. You know,
the same as Ryan's, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan's got the little white Puma. And
good-looking cars as well.
Lovely looking car.
Yeah.
But from bottom end, when that little electric motor kicks in, because it only just uses it at the bottom end.
Yeah, it's like gearbox driven.
Gets it going, and it takes off.
Yeah. Quick little thing.
I was looking at a video the other day, and is it BYD?
Yeah.
So BYD have just brought out a new. It looks almost like a Range Rover, but it's probably bigger. But it's a hybrid, but it's not a hybrid. So it's got a petrol engine in it, but all that does is it's basically a generator. So it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's full electric, bar this generator that they put in it.
So the engine charges the batteries, not
Yes.
drives the
Not
vehicle.
drives
That's what BMW did with that little hybrid.
the
little
i3.
i3 thing.
Yeah.
What do they call it? A range extender.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it was just
okay.
basically.
We call it an onboard generator.
Yeah, it's an engine.
Yeah.
What was that thing we saw in the car park the other night? That funny, was it an Aura or something? What was that? And you went, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know what the name was. It was.
They just appeared out of
ridiculous.
nowhere,
Yeah,
didn't
it was
they?
some cheap Chinese pearl red thing.
Yeah.
Was it Aura?
Or-
on the
yeah.
ORA on the boot lid?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Awful thing. Never. They're popping up everywhere, though.
Yeah,
Aren't
yeah, they literally are.
And I think they're holding back a lot of what, like Japan and everything have at the moment.
Well,
They're
they
holding
were talking
them
on the
back.
radio the other day that BYD are bringing out a car in the next month or so that from a 5-minute charge gives you 250 miles.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
Yes.
insane, isn't it?
That's
But
nuts.
if you're charging batteries at that speed, that's fire, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
yeah.
not
impressive.
for me. It's
It's
not for me.
impressive
they're-
if they can maintain it and.
But they'll almost be white goods because
Oh, they are,
them batteries are going to run out at some point.
Yeah,
'cause
it'd be like throwing
They
an old
are
washing
now-
machine
They are now
away.
anyway.
Yeah.
They are now anyway.
No, there's no second-hand market.
No.
Or not a good second-hand market for an
Yeah,
electric
we've
car.
got a guy that wants to come on the podcast soon who's got a Tesla.
Right.
A company car, so I kind of, obviously he hasn't forked out the money himself, so it's like,
Yeah.
I think they're about 60 grand now,
Yeah.
but the depreciation of them is so fast and so great.
That should be a separate question. Would you buy one or would you drive one?
Yes,
Because
it's
everybody
not
says
about car
don't,
today.
do not buy one because the depreciation
Yeah,
is
it's
so
massive.
immense. But to drive, I hear, I've not driven an electric car apart from that Mini that I had, which
Yeah.
is like
Oh, no,
self-charging.
they're rapid, mate.
Yeah, they take
They
off.
are
They're
rapid.
lovely,
Yeah.
lovely
The,
to go.
the
but
Tesla Plaid, I was lucky enough, if you know what one of them is, I was lucky enough to have a go in one in America, only as a passenger, but it's the fastest car I've ever been in.
Yeah, fast.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
Just-
nuts.
Yeah,
Nearly
it's,
200 mile an hour, isn't it?
But
yeah,
there's
we
no-
didn't do that because it was on the freeway,
No.
but it's acceleration I can't comprehend how fucking fast that thing is.
Yeah.
It's mental.
But then again, you're getting normal, inexperienced drivers in cars that are rapid.
Yeah.
You know, and that don't always end
No,
No,
well,
it
does
don't always work well, does it?
It's the initials from stop to going is insane.
Yeah.
That's that's
They
the
shouldn't be
beauty of
making
them.
everyday cars,
Not
in my
everybody
opinion,
can drive
that
like
quick.
that, can
No,
they,
they
really?
shouldn't be making them that quick, really.
no, I think they kind of make them so they put the power down quick enough just to stop the wheel spinning. That's
Yeah.
how quick they are.
Yeah.
But I find, because obviously, like, most people don't have fast cars off the mark, it's when you're pulling away at a roundabout, if they're pulling away at the same time, you can't keep up with
No, they
the
just
flow of
can't.
traffic. You know what I mean? So you then have to almost wait or shit yourself to try and get out of the way of them, because obviously
Most of
they're
them
coming
are
at you so
four-wheel
quick.
drive now, and
Yeah.
electric cars.
Yeah.
They've got a motor in each corner.
Yeah, like my one,
Yeah, they
my
grip.
little Tucson. It's a company car, but it's a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
Put that in sport mode, there's not much that will beat me
Yeah,
off
that's
a
what I
lot.
mean.
Up to about 40. There's not much. I love a traffic light Grand Prix in that.
Yeah, but you can look at
I'm a bit of a dickhead.
You can look at it the other way because it's quick enough to get you out of trouble. If
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
boot it and go
Yeah.
and get out of
Oh, it
someone's
is,
way,
yeah.
then
Yeah.
you're gone. It's,
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely not for me. Not, well,
No.
I can't see me ever owning one.
Fair enough. Have you had any points?
Yes.
How many?
What, in my driving
In
career?
your career, yes.
Probably about 9, maybe
Okay.
12. Not many, really. I had a spell where, you know, I probably had a few within the sort of, I had one and then maybe got another one.
Yeah.
And then I had many years without
clean.
And then I had another 3, and currently, luckily, touch wood, I've got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, my points came off a couple of months ago.
So you clean?
I'm clean now. We'll see how long that lasts.
I always get caught like, I don't know, 33 in a 30 or 44 in a 40 or something like that. I always get, the sneaky camera van. Yeah, or something like that.
It is worrying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it's if that's your business or your your livelihood.
Yeah. But I'm pretty careful, really, or I try to be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you into motorsports at all?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What do you follow?
I follow the touring cars a lot.
I've just got tickets for Silverstone for this year.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'll be going to that.
I try and watch that every time it's on. I haven't been for a long time, but I think be honest, you don't get the atmosphere quite, but on the telly coverage is really good.
It's superb on everything.
It's mega, yeah.
It's
so
so good.
I follow them. I love that. A lot of people say it's boring now, but I don't follow F1. It's not my thing.
I've always said that you can relate more to touring cars because you see them on the road, don't you?
Yes, and then my other love is bangers. I love going. I'll go banger
Have you ever done it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did do it for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say I was any good at it, but I did it just to tick a box.
Yeah.
I did it. I think it was around 2009. Did 2 or 3 cars, and that was me done then. I was at the
Kind
time.
of injuries, didn't you?
Yeah, at the time I was running my business, and I just couldn't afford to hurt myself or be off work.
Yeah.
So I just had a bit of a play with them, with a mate of mine who did it quite regular. It was good fun. But I go to watch as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Brayfield?
Brayfield, I was there yesterday, Brayfield.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, Brayfield. I'll go Mildenhall and Kingsley, and they're really the only 3 I go.
Mildenhall?
Yeah, Mildenhall's good.
Newmarket way, isn't it?
No, I'm up there a lot. I do a lot. I do work for the RAF up.
That's
the US Air Force
Yeah,
up
Lakenheath as well, do you go?
Yeah, I'll go there as well.
So they're very close to each other.
I didn't know there was a track up there.
Yeah,
I'll have to inquire.
Yeah, Mildenhall, yeah.
What surface is it? Is it
shale?
It's loose.
Kingsley and
It's not tarmac track,
Brayfield used to be tarmac, it's now shale.
Yeah.
Mildenhall shale, Kingsley and shale. I do sometimes go Yarmouth, that's tarmac. And sometimes Ipswich, that's tarmac.
We'll have to have some boys' days out.
Yeah, well, we had a guy on the other day, Danny.
Just get hold of Dave and I'll tell you when all the good meetings are up. We'll just have to fly out.
You want to go on unlimited bangers?
Yeah, unlimited one.
Yeah, I'd have
That'd be good fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be really good.
It is good fun.
Did you pass your test first time or second time?
Oh, no. No, first time.
First time?
Yeah.
Do you remember how many minor?
No,
I didn't.
Was it not? Was it just a pass or fail?
No,
I didn't get it.
I passed it in a Mini Metro and all.
Brilliant.
Brown B-Reg Mini Metro.
That was classic, wasn't it, back in the day?
Mini Metro, brown one.
Brown or
And that was almost a new car.
Yeah, my mum and dad had a MG Metro. D133 DRP was the red.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
I think I passed in, I'm sure it was 85.
Did you?
When did you pass?
It was 2 months after my 17th birthday, Saturday, 84.
Yeah, I passed in 85.
August 84 I passed.
Yeah, I think I was 17 in the September 84 and I passed early 85.
Because back in the day, as soon as you would turn 17, you just wanted to drive on
10 o'clock on my 17th birthday, I had a lesson booked.
Did you?
Yeah. Same with me. My mum and dad.
I didn't go to work because I had a lesson. That's how important
It may have
was.
even been late 84. I'll just be honest, I can't remember. But I know it was in.
Oh, you passed
my
first time.
driving instructor's nearly new Mini Metro, brown one, chocolate brown.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was actually not a bad car to drive. I loved it.
They were really good cars. My dad loved his little MG Metro.
Really?
Yeah, it was black, little red accents on it. It was fucking.
Yeah, the MG
it was lovely.
Yeah.
4-speed thing.
Showing me age now, 1985. Jeez.
We won't work it out, don't we?
No.
What's the fastest you've been in a car?
That's it.
Passenger or driver?
Yeah, driver probably.
I think you was 137
with him.
With him.
Yeah, with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably touch that or more in the Mustang, but I've done it down.
Done a little bit more than that on a private road now.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Oh, over 160 easy.
Okay.
It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
What in?
It's on a private track, so you're right.
Yeah, so the XKRS was probably 150 odd. That was probably a 109 mile an hour car, to be fair.
Was it?
I know, yeah. You told me what track that was on as well. I remember you saying.
And then the GT3, definitely, that's touched 160.
Excellent.
And then I shat myself.
Really? Are they as impressive as everybody says? They say they're
GT3?
the
quickest thing I
driver's
think I've
car.
been in.
Do they go light at the front?
No.
They don't?
No. The steering is a little bit go-karty.
Okay.
You've got to... I'm not going to lie, you've really got to have your wits about you. It's not a hard car to drive, don't get me wrong, but because it's so quick, you just cannot... It's like... It's not as bad as riding a motorbike, I don't think, but you've got to have full concentration. It's so quick.
Is yours a manual?
No, mine's PDK.
PDK?
Yeah. You can't... I think it's a waste having it as a manual, that car.
Yeah.
You can't... There's no way you could change gear as quick as that.
You can't keep up with it.
It's insane. The more I drive it, and there's the odd occasion where you think, wow, that was quick. You know, even just, you know, general pulling out of here, there, you know, it's just quick. It's just that I can't explain it. It revs to like 9,000 RPM. It sounds like a motorbike. It goes like one. It's just ridiculous.
You've been in it, haven't you?
I've been in it.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever, I tell you now.
The best Beetle I've been in.
Yeah. And that's the best way.
He goes, I'm taking the Beetle out.
I've never had a car. It took me well over 1,000 miles to get used to it, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, easy. Yeah, because, you know, it's just like learning all over again, innit? I've never had a car with an engine.
It'll bite you if you,
Yeah, I've never had a car with the engine behind me. You've got to listen to what everyone tells you, you know what I mean? All the people that have got them, you've definitely got to respect the heat for the tyres, the brakes, got carbon ceramics on it, so they're not always as good as they should be when they're cold.
Oh, right, okay.
So you've just got to be, you know, very respectful.
Yeah.
That's my words. I think if you drove it like you stole it, you're going to die. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. You've got to just be sensible with it.
You'd run out of talent before the car did.
Is that
mate, I would be the first person to admit that I have not got enough talent for that car. 100%. 100%.
Is that what Paul Walker died in? One of those?
He drove Carrera GT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he had 10-year-old tyres.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But I won't.
It wasn't even driving either, was it?
No, I
Was
won't do
that what
it.
Lewis Hamilton's dad put back through a fence? Was that
Yes,
GT?
I think that was a Carrera GT as well.
But I won't do it this year because I'm going to Germany in it. But next year, I will do a track day in it. But I'm going to have like an instructor with me for an hour.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea to get him to tell you
someone
the
who's
limits
used
of
to
your car.
it. I'm going to do it on a Porsche day, probably Silverstone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get one of their instructors to take me out and just prove to me what I can get away with and what I can't.
Because back in the day, one of my dad's mates had a Lotus Colton, but before he bought it, he had to go for like an intense driving course.
I don't blame him.
And because it's so quick.
Yeah.
Well, you could put one of them. You could 180 one of them in an instant, couldn't you? But you know, when you're an owner of one of them cars, you've always got the value of it going through your head. Unless you're completely insane, you know, you just got to take it easy.
Just driving to the shops must be like so stressful. It's just like some like little panda pulling out in front of you. You're like,
the thing is, you have got to ignore that. When you drive it, you've just got to drive it like you're in your Connect van or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you worry about everything, you'd never take it out.
This is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I first got the RS6. That was January 21. I got that, and they only come out sort of late 20. So I did have one fairly early on, and I remember, like, not so much the everyday kind of guys, but the people in, like, Volkswagen Golfs and any kind of VW or VAG, you know, I had people filming me on the motorway. It was mad.
Yeah.
Taking photos of it, you know, thumbs up here, thumbs up there.
Probably one of them was me.
Yeah. But I do get a lot of that with the Porsche, but not when I'm driving it. More like when it's static, you know, people come up to you and say, that's real nice, mate, or whatever. But when that RS6 was a magnet for, like, Wallies.
I love that. You've said about your movie car earlier, or your TV car, which was obviously your RS6 from Mobland.
Yeah, that's
and then Dukes of Hazzard. Is there anything else that stands out?
I mean, you've got all the regular ones, and you know, we all love Smoking the Bandit and bits and bobs like that. Yes, I mean, movie cars, not Herbie, definitely not.
No.
That's more you, innit?
Yeah, that's more.
But you know, anything that's cool in a movie, you've got to.
What about movie car chase? What's your?
Oh yeah, so now, I mean, everyone loves Bullet, don't they?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Do you remember the Ford Puma advert that they brought out?
Yeah.
I watched that the other day. And I was like,
it's hard to pick
really
one.
cool.
I mean, I don't know. There's been so many in there. It's hard to pick.
Yeah, what did somebody say the other day about something 6 with Ryan Reynolds in it?
6 Underground.
Yeah, I need to watch
Yeah,
that.
they had the Alpha.
Yeah.
Right.
Brera?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's the Giulia Quadrifoglio.
Yeah.
But it's some dude driving it, and it's around Italy, and he's got a hydraulic handbrake in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking drives the wheels off that thing.
But then some of the later James Bond car chases are
Are epic.
mega.
Really,
you know.
really cool. Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
I believe that's.
And
hard
Mission
to pick.
Impossible. There's some great
Yeah,
James
exactly.
Impossibles.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Mission Impossible.
They are well worth watching.
What was the one I was watching?
Maybe not free.
I was watching
Free shit, yeah.
Jack Reacher the other day.
Oh, yeah?
And he was in an American.
Is it Kilmera?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The red one.
The fact you can't do
Yeah.
it perfectly.
Yeah, the red one.
wicked.
So he said he had to drive that, didn't he? That was one of his things.
Yeah.
And
That was a cool car chase.
so they could get like the camera angles right up close of obviously him driving it. And there's a couple of corners where he overtakes them, doesn't he? And then he puts it in reverse.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
And he gets it proper out of shape. It's not all smooth and silk like some movies. It's like a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of error in it.
It's hard to pick. It's really hard to pick.
Yeah.
I couldn't name one single chase.
As long as nobody picks any of the Fast and Furious films.
No way.
When he picks the front of it, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then jumping from
The
skyscraper
cables.
to skyscraper.
Yeah,
and
that's a bit max power for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched any of them.
it was on last night, and
I really
Lorraine
like
was
it.
like,
No, I really like number 1 because I was in my little Max Power
Yeah,
phase back
yeah,
then,
yeah.
and then me and all my mates went up. I think 7 of us went in 7 cars to watch it at the cinema. But I do love that orange Supra.
Yeah.
There's a bit in me that loves that fucking orange Supra.
Yeah.
I love it. Or the F-150 Lightning that he uses
There's
as his
loads of
little,
cool cars in it.
his little
Really.
community car. I love that.
But as a film series, they've wrecked some.
Oh,
cars,
it's got terrible. I reckon they should have done 3 and left it.
Stopped it,
Yeah.
I keep seeing that thing where it's like the first movie started off with them stealing like car stereos, and then they're going into space and saving the world.
Yeah.
It should have stayed.
Yeah, there's a franchise that shouldn't have been. It shouldn't be where it is now, anyway.
A bit like Rise of the Foot Soldier.
Yeah, they should have canned that
There's
after
about 1 million
2.
of them now, isn't there?
Yeah. So, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done to a car?
I've been talking to my wife about this. So, probably putting a square number plate on my Avenger weren't the best idea I had in the world. Because that was really gay.
That's the worst.
That's the worst thing.
No, there is worse, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then when I repaired a Mark IV Astra Estate, I painted it gold. And that was probably another bad move.
I was going to say, he's got. This is fighting talk.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, but yours weren't like the gold I had. It was that gold, wasn't it? I mean, let's be honest.
Oh,
Also,
Gold.
Jewish Racing
Yeah,
Beige.
it was proper gold. So
might have to cut that bit out,
my missus hates me for
That's what he
that.
calls mine. Jewish Racing Gold.
Oh, does he? Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're amongst
Yeah.
friends.
I had a proper nicely kitted out Astra Estate.
See, I don't even remember you having a.
No, and it was proper.
Gold
I
Astra.
painted it. I'll tell you what gold I painted it. Citroen Saxo VTR.
Oh, VTR.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That was
That
the
was
exact
quite
gold.
That was actually a really nice colour, yeah.
Yeah,
That was really
I painted
suited.
that colour.
Rear parcel shelf tissue box gold.
Yeah. Apart from that, I don't think there's been too many embarrassing moments. I've been pretty cool with my cars.
It does sound like he's had a very, very
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
history.
Yeah. I definitely don't bury them too much. I do them nice, but not that bad. They're
Fair
definitely not Halford's specials.
Yeah, sometimes somebody looks like they've drove through Halford
Yeah.
and come out the other end
Yeah.
with everything stuck to it.
There was
Driven through them cardboard boxes and it's just all stuck to the car.
There was a Ford Mondeo I saw in London a couple of weeks ago when I was working, and it had every conceivable vent stuck to it, but then they'd pinstriped every conceivable
it's
vent.
awful.
And it had hubcaps, it had all them like wheel arches that are riveted on. It had fucking everything on it. It had like 12 bonnet scoops and a spoiler on a spoiler.
Mondeo?
Yeah.
But it's the old boys who put all the chrome bits
But
on,
he was driving around in
on their X-Types. They've all the little chrome everything in there, aren't they? Oh,
I'm going to have to start taking photos of these really shit cars.
You do need
to post them up and shame people.
Right, we'll have some fun now. Unlimited money in the world. What is your 5-car garage? Excluding things you've got now.
Oh, see, that's really hard. I'm going to say it's what I've got.
Really?
That's really cool. I am, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's what I've got. I think what I've got is me. I'm not into hypercars. I wouldn't say a Lambo or a Bugatti or anything like that. I would say if I had all the money in the world, I probably wouldn't have anything different to what I've got now.
Fair play.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Yeah, and I can take my 911 out for a good old blast, and then I can come back, put it away, get the Cavalier out, and that gives me just as much pleasure.
I like that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Have you actually got a cool car for every day of the week?
I think I have, yeah.
That's really good as well.
Yeah. I think
I could drive a different car every day of the week if I wanted.
I think
even down to I've got a camper van in the build at the minute, and I think even that's cool enough to
Yeah.
The original split screens?
I've got a MAN TGE, like basically a Volkswagen Crafter.
Okay.
But
Big
that's,
L1H one.
Yeah.
Long
it's got nice rims on it, and it's all proper, and it's the way being built at the minute. So that can even qualify.
Absolutely.
In my book, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Great answers.
He's just won life. Life completed.
So, if you was to get rid of the Porsche, what would you get next?
Another RS6.
Would you?
Yeah.
Good answer again.
Yeah.
100%.
You missed that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do miss it. But the trouble is, when I had it, I couldn't use it as a daily because it would have meant my missus would have had to drive it, and that's probably not a good idea. And it was too good a car to be like in the garage all week and then driven just for a week. It's not like the 911 where you know that's a proper. It's, I don't know, two different cars,
it's a toy,
obviously. But the RS6 was more of an everyday car, but I used to use it as like a toy.
Yeah.
And I just think it was wasted. You know what I mean? If I could get my missus into one of them or an RS4, I think I'd have another one tomorrow. But that's not going to happen. So.
Very cool. So, we've kind of started changing this a little bit. We always said Route 66. If you used to do it, what would you do it in? But we're just going to change it to like road trips because some people say they wouldn't want to do American road trips.
No, I'd like to do it. I'd still like to tick that one off.
Because some people sort of said they want to do like the Swiss Alps.
Yeah, we've had more European ones like Stelvio Pass and all that.
I've got all that sort of planned for my camper.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not like it's not like driving it like in a Tourer or something like that. I think if I was to do Route 66, I'd like to maybe do it in like a 911 convertible or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be really good actually.
Rather than an American.
Yeah.
I don't like so much the modern American muscle cars, and I don't think I'd do it in an old one. I think I'd like to do it in something a little bit more modern, but maybe with a convertible.
Have you ever had an American car?
No.
Right.
No. I've been in plenty.
Yeah.
And I do, you know, if ever there was space in my garage, I wouldn't say no to a muscle car, an old school American muscle car, definitely. Yeah. But, you know, I don't need to own one. I've got a mate with one, haven't I?
You've always got one, haven't you?
Yeah.
American car in my garage.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a 911 in mine.
There we go.
Right.
Good trade.
Any motoring rants you want to have about Britain?
Yeah, so I hate wonky number plates. If I'm following a car with a wonky number plate.
But they seem to come wonky from the factory.
Oh,
that's dreadful. The thing. My brand new car, when it got delivered, had a fucking wonky number plate.
Part of the PDI.
Yeah,
of course it should.
He's a number plate level.
And there is a guy, funny enough, who lives around the corner from me. He's got a nice Audi. And I noticed a few months ago it had been hitting the rear door and quarter. Mm-hmm. Right? This is me being just OCD. But he's had it repaired. right? And every time I drive past it, I almost feel like I've got to knock on his door and tell him, because the door and the quarter now is a totally different colour. And that really upsets me, do you know what I mean? My miss, just leave it. Just leave it. What are you doing?
Is that what his aerosol can? He's going to change it for him.
He obviously took it somewhere and had it repaired, but it literally is. The two front panels and the two rear panels are totally different. And it's parked in the sun and all, so when you drive past it, I spot it a mile off.
Yeah.
But no, that's a rant. And then obviously electric cars.
Under street lamps as well, you always notice it, don't you?
Awful. Feel sorry for the guy. But yeah, and then my only other rant is just this electric shit. Just get it off the road.
The middle laners.
Oh, man. Oh, and yeah.
Calm down.
Calm
So
down.
Another rant is if you're in a 50 or 60 zone, please just do the speed limit. Don't do 35.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of taxis around Milton Keynes.
Oh my God.
Do you know why they do that? Because they all drive Priuses and they all drive them on their electric bit, don't they?
Yeah.
So they only go up to about 34 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
they don't use their petrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously lane hoggers. You just can't deal with lane hoggers, can you?
It drives me absolutely potty.
No.
Him and Claire went on a proper rant the other day, didn't they?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, for our jobs, I do sometimes 1,000 miles a week for my
you must
my
get
job.
You must get infuriated.
I get it beggars belief how fucking stupid drivers are.
Yeah.
And I purposely stick my speed limiter on my car to 70.
Yeah.
And I undertake a lot.
Yeah.
And
I do that a lot.
I just want people to fucking.
Yeah. And I indicate back out, and you just got. But they're still oblivious. You can be like half a mile ahead of them after that, and they're still sitting there.
Yeah.
I had to drive up to Glasgow the other week for work, and I followed somebody, no word of a lie, on the M6 for about 80 odd miles, and they just sat in lane 3.
Wow.
Just literally oblivious, doing 70 mile an hour, and I was in that lane. That bit where you get past Gretna Green and it's really, really quiet, and they just sat in the outside lane, and I just sat in the inside lane, and it was beautifully clear, and they just did not move for about 80 odd miles.
Do you not find there's a lot of people that will join a motorway and
straight out?
They'll go straight out, whether they go to lane 2 or lane 3, and there's nothing in front of them as far as they can see, but they have to be out.
I'll tell you where it's bad for that, between like Brampton and Peterborough, where it's 4 lanes. That bit of A1 is awful for people driving in the fast lane with nothing else to the side.
I said this the other week, and I won't digress too much, but I got caught on the M25 and they shut it because there was a crash. So the police took us off the slip road and then back on a roundabout. So all behind you is a completely shut, empty, there's nothing there.
Nothing coming in.
The vast majority of people in front of me got on at the slip road, immediately over to lane 3 and 4 on a 4-lane motor. Why? What's the gravitational pull to lane 3 and 4?
No, it's bad.
I think what a lot of it is, a lot of people are scared, mainly women. I'm not being sexist, but a lot of them don't like changing lanes, so they kind of like to stake their claim to the middle lane, and they stay there. They're like, I can get along in the middle lane, and I can sail past things that are going slower. But I don't pull in, I don't pull out. I just
you just stay there.
Because they're completely oblivious to what you're doing as well. You can go around them, go under them, and they just.
I personally think that once you pass your test, you should do a certain amount of motorway driving afterwards, and get another pass before you're allowed to go on the motorway.
It was called Pass Plus, wasn't it?
You shouldn't be allowed on the motorway till you know how to drive on the motorway. That's my opinion.
But they changed it. Learners can now on the motorway.
Yeah, my boy.
It's hideous.
Yeah, my boy goes on the motorway.
Yeah, but he probably knows how to drive. He probably drummed it into him, hasn't he?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. So
AC or radio? You had to give up one. Air conditioning or radio?
Music.
Oh, AC, definitely. Yeah, it can't be without music.
Your Cavalier probably hasn't got it, has it?
Yeah, it's still got the original radio in there. Don't you worry about that. A bit of Heart FM on that bit. I can't get much else on it. I think the old radio's dying, but yeah, definitely AC.
Got to have your radio.
Yeah, got to have my radio.
Fair play.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you're well into your music as well.
Yeah, me and all.
Yeah, me and me both do music.
It's the same sort of music.
Yeah, all sort of bit.
I'm a musical genius.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, pretty good at the old.
We will do the pop quiz on the
Oh, Popmaster.
Lee's devout radio too, so he's stayed with.
I'm with Vernon Kay now. With 10 to the top.
And I still follow Ken Bruce, so I'm doing Popmaster.
We used to do that at Coke, didn't we? 20 years ago.
Was it 10:30 or something?
Yeah.
If I'm ever at his workshop, it's always like, quiz is on.
Yeah, down tools.
Yeah, we have to stop.
We went to, was it Bistro Live?
Yeah.
Every time Dave goes to Bistro Live, he wins like another.
Yeah, we normally win another visit.
Yeah, he always wins a challenge. Yeah. You're brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
General knowledge not so great, but music not too bad.
Fair enough. Right, so I think we're coming to the end of the questions.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much.
Have you got any funny related car stories?
I have actually.
Yeah. I can imagine you have.
Yeah. It depends how many you want. I mean,
how long we got
left?
Things.
I got 41 minutes.
Oh, there you go. Go for it.
Let's get comfy.
Right, so I'm going to drop him in it now.
Oh, here we go.
So, after the little GTE event where I nudged him and woke him up, he thought it'd be a good idea to get me back one night. I think, where had we been? Welling?
We've been to St Albans.
We've been to St Albans on the lash, haven't we?
I wasn't on the lash because I was driving.
No, we'd been out.
Yeah, we've been to St Albans and we were coming back and we were heading back to our hat where we lived in Baldock.
Yeah, so I don't know why you decided to go.
Because one of us or both of us needed a wee.
Oh, right.
So we came off at Welling Garden.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, we came off at Welling Garden into sort of Old Welling area.
Yeah.
And we did a little left turn off the main. What's that?
It's off the you come off the main A1 and then the Codicott Road where the roundabout is at the beginning of the Codicott.
So he goes, don't worry, I'll go down here. So I don't know whether we'd had a wee before this incident or after.
It was before.
All right. So anyway, so he's obviously got out, had a little wee, and then he's gone hooning down this lane, right?
XR3i.
XR3i. What was that? Y plate?
I think XR3 it was, Y plate XR3.
Yeah, nice. It was an I though, weren't it?
No, the second one was the I. It was the blue one that I sold to Colin and Russ.
Oh yeah. So he's come howling down this lane. Don't worry, I know where I'm going. Come flying down this country lane. Bearing in mind them old Mark III headlights, they're not the best, are they?
Yeah, panels in jam jars.
And all of a sudden, there's just like a
fence
posts and wire in front of us. There was a proper hard left, 90-degree left, and of course he's just not with it, and we've just gone straight through this fence.
But there was a drop, wasn't there?
8-foot drop minimum.
It just dropped.
Straight into a farmer's field full of horses. and then he's gone, don't worry, I'll get out of here. Turned it round, tried to get out of the 8-foot bank. Not happening. Not happening, but there's better to come, right? So I said, come on, we'll just drive along the field till we get to a gate and we'll just get out.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. So he's trying. Bearing in mind, we didn't know.
You were out of the car.
Bearing in mind, we didn't know where these horses were, or if anyone had seen us, or if there was a farmer going to turn up at any minute. So we've gone trundling along this field, literally next to the hedge, weren't we?
Next, following the hedge of the road. So where the road went 90 degrees, we're now following the hedge along.
Yeah, along that road.
Along with the road.
So we comes to another gate.
Through that gate.
Yeah, we went through that. Into another field, no gate onto the road.
And it's just getting narrower and narrower and narrower. This last field was getting narrower and narrower as we went along.
I said, well, that's it, we're stuck, aren't we?
We ain't getting out, we're going to have to call someone to get us out of this.
So anyway, there was like a bit of a hedge and a barbed wire fence.
Almost when we got to the end of this field, it narrowed down to a point. The hedge kind of disappeared and it was just like 3 rungs of barbed wire left.
I said, Dukes of Hazzard moment.
No, it gets better, right? And this you won't believe, right? So I said to him, where are we going to get out of here? And then he goes...
You turn around to me and he goes, if we had axle blade, we could cut the
And he goes, lift my mat up. Right, so I've lifted the mat up in the passenger seat, and there is a hacksaw blade underneath his mat. I mean, who'd have thought it? So there we were, cutting through this barbed wire fence, jump back in the car, off we went.
Brilliant.
Cut 3 bits of barbed wire, out the field and gone.
Who has a hacksaw blade in their car?
It's like MacGyver, isn't it?
It is like MacGyver.
Yeah.
But that proper pinged the old spotlights, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't hardly damage.
All we had was one barbed wire scratch from like on the corner of the wing.
Yeah.
And a little dent about 50p size in the metal valance.
But you know...
Just where it took the fence post clean
You know
out.
the round posts, they just bang in the ground.
Yeah.
It was just
They
that.
just lifted about 4 of them out. Just lifted it all out.
We were just in this field.
Very lucky.
Mate, it was...
No horses were injured in this story.
No.
Just pride.
No.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, Jesus,
And then
that was
escape with a
bad.
hacksaw blade.
That was bad.
So why did you have a hacksaw blade in the car?
Yeah.
I've been to a mate's workshop earlier in the week, We had a pack of hacksaw blades actually under the seat, like a wrap of 10. And
just
one of them.
waiting for
It was
that
one of them.
occasion.
It was like he goes, you walk in the workshop and there's a pack of hacksaw, and he goes, help yourself. He goes, I've got loads of them, and I just took a pack and I just flipped them under the mat in the passenger seat. I don't know why, and they were there, and it was only when he
Luckily,
went,
he
we had
forgot
hacksaw
about
blade. Yeah, luckily I left them there. Didn't put them in my own.
So the
workshop.
moral of the story is,
Always keep hacksaw blade under your
keep a
passenger
hacksaw
mat.
blade.
Never leave home
Oh
without
my
it.
God, that was a night, I tell you. I didn't think we were getting out of there alive, to be honest.
No, I thought we were going to get chased by a farm.
But
with a shotgun.
we proper were airborne, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
Soft landing. Did it not rip the front spoiler off? Or
No, it just got a dent in it where it hit pretty much clean in the middle of the car. As we got airborne off this 90-degree corner, we hit the middle post clean in the middle of the car, and it just literally took the rest out, and then it must have blown the barbed wire, and we just had one scratch on the corner of the wing.
So lucky.
Cool. Yeah.
But no matter how fast we went at this run up to try and get out this field, it weren't going out. No,
Yeah, that was pretty.
that was a long time ago. That was probably 92, something like that, 92, 93.
Oh, early,
long time ago.
Early, long time ago, when we were in our
Brilliant.
Youth.
we didn't have no wrinkles or nothing.
Wrinkles and grey
long
hairs.
time ago. So that was quite a funny one. I have got another one involving.
It's not involved with me, is it?
No,
That's
my
all right,
mate
you carry on.
Danny. Remember Danny? Do you remember Danny?
Yeah, I remember Danny.
Yeah, tattoo Danny.
Danny Sand Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, me and my mate Danny used to work for Vauxhall plant Luton.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, it was a Friday, and we were on earlies, and we finished at 11 o'clock. And we were repairing a car of some sort. I can't remember what it was, but we had to. We left work about 11 o'clock. Flew up to Birmingham, picked up some Vauxhall parts, whatever they were. Anyway, we loaded. At the time, I had an old J-Reg Mark III Astra. We just loaded the car up with crap. Come back. Anyway, we've come off at 13, junction 13, heading back. You know what used to be through Ridgemont. Then,
Yeah.
So, so you know, as you're coming off junction 13, and you used to come up the wiggly lane up to Ridgemont Junction.
Over the crossing, up to the left.
And do a left. Yeah. So up there, I mean, bearing in mind it was only an old 1400 or whatever it was. We were loaded and all. We were behind an Arctic. And I said, don't worry, I'll just overtake him. Well, anyway, I got halfway past this bloody Arctic, had no more oomph, and there was a Fiesta coming the other way. I thought, what are we going to do? There was no way I could brake and go back in.
Yeah.
So I just hedged it. And the Fiesta came between us and the truck, and then I came back out, carried on overtaking the truck, and carried on. And I'm telling you, I looked over and he was just screaming at me, and he's still never ever forgiven me for it. It was so funny.
Go left, go right. That's the answer. Go in the hedge.
But then, all the times I went down there afterwards, I couldn't understand how the hell I had enough room to go right.
You couldn't do that in the
and
middle.
get a Fiesta through the middle because I just couldn't believe
They
it.
used to be a lot smaller back in the day.
Oh my God! But I don't know how his tattoos didn't fall off. He was absolutely shitting himself. It was so funny. He went, I can't believe you've done that. I said,
Well, you're here to tell the story, so it's not the end of the world. So one of the questions that you brought up last week is, what's the most beautiful car ever made?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean,
That's
again,
one I should have sent you, really. And I forgot.
Oh no, I did get it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did
okay.
get it. So again, I've got mixed views on this. I mean, I could pick a few, but I would probably say, again, it's not going to be hypercar or nothing like that, because I'm not into them. I would say probably one of the most beautiful cars ever made, in my eyes, is probably my old Jag.
Yeah.
You know, back in '72 when that car came out, it was just like revolutionary. Do you know what I mean? V12 engine, small saloon. That was the fastest production saloon car ever to be made at that point. 140 mile an hour car. Wow. And it was just like silky smooth. So I think that's a good contender. I'm not going to say
It's still around, isn't it?
That's the thing. There's no wrong answer to it.
It's what's in my eye. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a beautiful car, but you know, someone else might go, for God's sake, you know what?
It doesn't matter what I think.
But then I could say the same about my Mark 1 Escort.
Yeah.
You know, there's loads I could.
Well, we
put in
introduced that
category.
question before you.
Yeah, I didn't have that. So my view on that is, I know it's funny because I was only talking about it this week. I saw it at Goodwood Festival of Speed, and the guy I worked with, Alex, went to the Peterson Museum in LA 2 weeks ago. Because he said to me, he goes, I'm going to LA, what shall I do? I went, Peterson Museum. He went, what's that? I said, car museum, just go. And when he came back, he went, that's the best thing I did while I was away. But he paid for the vault tour at Peterson. So basically they have a mainstream selection of cars that they put out on the floor, but they have a vault where they keep other stuff, where they do their swap overs.
Yeah.
And he found it in there, the same car that we saw at Goodwood. And it's a Delahaye. And I've never seen anything quite like it. If you find it just put in Delahaye, Chris, and it's red. It's like a candy apple red. And it's the only car I've ever seen that has a wind-down windscreen. Now, if you see it, it's got straight windscreen pillars. That's the one. That's the one.
Oh, wow, that's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. So Russell have to ping some pictures up.
Yeah.
When you look at the windscreen of it, Barry, it's got teeth down the side of the windscreen frame, and it's got handles on the dash. So when you've got the roof down, whereas your windscreen would normally be like that, you can wind the windscreen down to that, and it brings the whole perspective of the car lower. So you've got a wind down.
It's almost like chopping the roof.
Is that what model it is, Chris? It's Delahaye. It's a stunning, stunning car.
That's the one that's in Transformers when Patrick Dempsey and Rosie Huntington Whiteley said that in his big fucking thing, and he says it's a Delahaye something.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it's in one of the Transformers.
Have you never seen it?
Never even heard of one.
No. It's the only time I've heard of it through Transformers, ironically.
165, Delahaye
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's that.
Was it in Transformers? Yeah.
Was it in Transformers with Rosie Huntington Whiteley?
There's a Delahaye on the cover of one of the Duran Duran albums. I'm not sure what all single albums.
Possibly.
You see the front of the car and they're standing by it, and you can only see it by the badge, Delahaye.
Oh,
cool.
Very, very rare. And I think they're French.
It's with Patrick Dempsey, mate.
They're French, are they?
I think they are Delahaye.
What was yours? Have you answered it?
No, I'm still thinking. Yeah.
It's a hard one.
It is a really hard one because
BMW 5.
No, it isn't. No.
A working BMW.
There's so many you could put in that category.
It's like the AC Cobra was in there for a minute, and then like the old Porsche Speedster,
356.
Yeah,
that was
James
that's
Dean up there, and I'm like, I don't know.
It was that one.
It was. Delahaye 156.
Delahaye,
You redeemed yourself again, didn't you?
Haven't I just?
Yeah. Bloody hell. So you brought up I think we're at the end of our questions, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
So you brought up your Mark 1 Escort.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what you've done to it?
What, my current one?
Yeah, so did you it's a Mexico, isn't it? Or it looks like a Mexico.
So it was a 1100L.
Yeah, and then you've widened the arch.
Base car. So yeah, basically I stripped it to a bare shell. I actually cut the quarters off of it and a few other little bits, had it all sandblasted.
Yeah.
This car has still got the original seals on it from new.
Jesus.
Yeah, from Mark 1 Escort, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Still got all the original A panels, still got all the original
Turret tops.
Yeah, no turret tops
You've done.
done. Still got all the original rear floor, rear boot floor, all the chassis legs are all original.
Isn't it?
I actually did chop the whole front off, so all that was coming out from the bulkhead was just the chassis legs.
All right.
And I've renewed the inner and outer wings, front panel. The reason I put new inner wings in it is because at some point in its life it had had some bad like MOT top plates put on or whatever, because that was the first thing to go on them.
Right.
And you can buy new inner wings, so there was no point trying to save them. Just drill them off and get rid of them. So I've put new inner wings, new outer wings, new front panel. I've got new doors for it, new rear quarters with all the front wings now and rear wings from. I guess they're Magnum panels, but they're all pressed with the steel arches already in them.
Nice.
So there's no the only filler in it now, or will be, is where I've joined the quarters to the original.
Are they called forest arches or something?
No, forest arches are on Mark II.
Oh, are they?
So works arches are the bubbly arches on the Mark 1. So yeah, it's a fully restored shell now, with like a 6-link rear end, so upright turrets now, no leaf springs anymore. I've had a roll cage made for it, which goes through the bulkhead to the turrets. It's got big.
It's a work of art.
It's proper done. Yeah. So obviously a big gearbox tunnel. It's got all the right braces and all the right stuff in all the right places. So it should be a pretty cool car.
Have you seen the MST cars?
Yes. They're so good.
They're absolutely stunning.
They're so good. They're so good.
If you can see them, they're effectively recreations of Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts.
Yeah.
Oh, you sent me them.
So they're the guys to thank for all these new panels. Basically, they got. I don't know whether they did it in conjunction with Magnum panels, but they basically pushed for everything. So you can build a whole car, you can build a whole shell now out of the panels you can get.
Can you?
And so basically they're now building Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts from the ground up with all brand new panels.
Yeah, they're I mean, the price tag reflects, but you can customise them to your specification. So you can have a full works rally car, or you could have one with
fast road.
Fast road.
I think we mentioned this, didn't we, about having something on the outside looks old, but everything underneath.
It's a carbon copy of it, really, isn't
100%.
it?
They're obviously not badged as Fords until the new owner gets them and
do what they want.
They're just called MST Mark 1 or Mark 2. But what they have just launched is a Mark 2 Evolution with like a X-Pack. They've redesigned the X-Pack, like the wide-bodied Mark IIs.
Fucking stunning.
And they're
the square arches, are they?
But you need to Google it. The new Mark II they've got coming out is insane.
MST Evolution. It's called, mate.
Mark II.
It's almost got like the mini lights as well.
It has 17-inch mini lights. But the best bit about their builds is you can have pretty much like different grades of engine, so you can go 2 litre blacktop, or you can go right up to
MST.
you can go right up to what they call a
diamond engine or something.
2.5 litre Millington diamond engine. Well, that's 25 grand on its own.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The engine, yeah.
So what engine are you putting in yours?
I'm putting a blacktop Z-Tech 2 litre in it out of a Mondeo.
Oh, nice.
No, but
it was out of one of my bangers.
Is it?
Yeah, it was one. I either didn't race or I can't remember how, but I had the engine from way back then.
Yeah.
Those on throttle bodies and a little mild tune. Cams and a bit of headwork.
So I've had the bottom end's all done. I'm waiting for the head really. So the bottom end, the block's been decked, been bored out. Probably two. I don't know, maybe a little bit more than 2 litre now. Right. But it's got like H rods in it, and
it's going to be stunning.
Yeah, it's going to be a good. And then the head, I don't want to go mad, but just like fast road sort of cams, not too wild. So I'm hoping it'll be probably about, the last one I built was about 240 horsepower. This one I'm hoping to be is just as good, but a lot more. This one will be a lot more creature comforts, you know, sound deadened. You know, I'm not going hard polybush with this car. I'm gonna try and keep it as as road nice as possible, if that makes sense.
But I imagine the MX-5 gearbox is quite short ratio as well.
Yeah, I've actually got 2 gearboxes at the minute. I originally was going to go RX-8, so 6-speed.
Okay.
But I've decided to go MX-5 because all the lads who fitted RX-8 say the first gear's too short.
Right. So
I'm going to sell that box and I'm going to stick with MX-5 now.
Cool.
So I've been to Retro Ford and picked up a load of bits from them. Them guys have got a wealth of knowledge. They've just been doing it for years, and they were the ones who said to me, "Lee, bin off the RX-8 box, go to Mazda MX-5. It's better." So I've recently changed my mind about that. So but I've got loads of stuff ready to start the dry build. But I'm hoping to get onto that hopefully by the end of the year.
Nice. And what colour are you going with?
I'm going for a really dark, in a dull light it will almost look black, but it's like a real like it's sort of like when the sun hits. When the sun hits, it's a bit brighter than black cherry.
Yeah.
But it's a very hidden colour.
I'm going to call it Gatto.
Yeah.
It's like a Black Forest Gatto type.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you come over, I'll show you.
I'd love to, mate.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask. Actually, we have to put something like bags over your head to drive you there.
You're not allowed to. You put your bags on.
I've been
I'll
before,
take you
but I
there.
haven't got a clue where it is, so you don't have to do it.
But yeah, I've got a sample of it. I've had done. So yeah, it'll look good with a, with the works arches when the sun hits the curves of them.
Yeah.
It'll just look really nice. So the last smart one I built was okay. It was all right. I won a lot of stuff with it. And when I did it, it was quite fresh, quite different, colour-wise and stuff like that. And I did win a lot of trophies for that. But this one, I want to just go that I want to do. Not that I made mistakes with that car, but there was things I wish I'd have done different.
Yeah, you always
Yeah.
learn,
And also back in 2007 when I built that car, the last one, there was nothing available like there is today.
Yeah.
Today you can build a Mark 1 Escort with virtually everything off the shelf.
Yeah.
Back then you used to have to fabricate stuff, make this work, make that work. I fitted a 2 litre XE in that one, so a 16 valve GTE engine in that one. So I got a lot of flack for that. But
Purist.
Chased out Santa Claus.
but back in the day it was a proper cool mod.
Yeah.
That was on twin 40s, twin 40s, tweaked twin 40s they were. So
Nice.
I think they were not quite 45s. They were machined out to about 42 and a half or something like that.
Wow.
But that was a quick car, that wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was a
that
cool
was
car,
lovely, that
cool car. But and a lot of people loved it. Loads of people loved it.
And a lot of people hated it.
But a lot of people used to
It's a
get.
Vauxhall in a Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
It's
never
like-
forget. I don't know if you've heard of Harris Performance, have you?
Yeah, I've heard of them,
Right,
yeah.
so them guys, big old
Big old
unit.
lumps, yeah.
So I was at Santa Pod, parked up, bonnet up, and I don't know where I was. I think I was getting something out the boot, lunch or something. Anyway, this mob just came over to the car. And they absolutely loved the car. But one of them, he was a right Grizzly Adams. He said to me, he goes, proper nice car, that boy. He goes to me, he goes, well, what the fuck have you put that in there for? I said, don't you worry about that. And he was laughing and joking. They loved it. But he said, mate, it's not our bag, that. But he said, what a car, yeah. So it was quite cool.
Yeah, Harris Performance, they're renowned for doing
Yeah,
Mark 1,
Mark
Mark 2
ones.
Escorts.
is it?
Pintos
okay.
and crossflows are their bag, they know how to build them engines. But I got that car on front cover of Retro Ford.
Did you?
Yeah, it was in it, and like they used to do a retro show at Santa Pod. I had to stop taking it in the end because I won car of the day quite a few times.
You were too good.
Yeah, but to me it was just my car.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one time I took my youngest with me. At the time, she was probably, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, I don't know, like that. And I said to her, right, when we get to where we're going to park the car, I said we need to just pack lunch out the back, lock the car quick and go. Yeah? She said, well, why do we need to do that, Dad? I said, well, you'll see. I said, so when we get there, just get everything you got and we'll go. Because it didn't work.
Around honey, wasn't it?
It didn't work. As soon as I parked up, there was just people like that. Oh, mate, how'd you do that? And then you're stuck for an hour.
Yeah.
My daughter was just like pulling her hair out. Now I know why you said that, Dad. And she never forgets it. It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good car, that, and I had some good fun in it. But
I'm really looking forward to seeing that when it's done. The
the Mark
new
1, the Mark 1 is I keep saying to my missus, I've got to get my arse in gear.
Need the Mark 3 done.
Yeah, the Mark 3. As soon as the Mark 3's finished, boom, that Mark 1's
I'm
going.
dreading the Mark 1 because I've got the job of doing the wiring on it.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a big old job.
I just want to see the Cavalier.
Yeah. So that's my next question. Have we got time? Yeah. So my next question was: you mentioned quite a lot before we turned the cameras on your Cavalier.
Yes.
So you got all squared.
Oh, I love Vauxhalls. I love 90s Vauxhalls.
Tell us a little bit more about the Cavalier.
Right. So the Cavalier. Obviously, I told you I had one back in the day, and I've always loved them. And I said to my missus, I'm going to get another one. What do you want them for? I said, just do. So anyway, I found one in Hemel Hempstead, went to look at it, brought it, got it back to my workshop.
What did you pay for it?
£750.
Did you?
£750.
I love that.
Yeah, and someone who offered to buy it off me, probably not was it last year? Went to a little show in a place called Barrington last year, and there was a geezer followed me round for 45 minutes, begging me to sell it to him. He said to me, I'll give you 20 grand for that car now. I said, not happening. I said, and then he said, are you coming back next month? I said, probably. He said, I'll up my offer. And I've never seen him since. But anyway, 750 quid I paid for it. I stripped it to a bare shell. and I just restored everything, absolutely everything. I think I had the underside and the engine bay sandblasted. That was it. New arches because they were a little bit crusty. The seals are still original on it. All the closures on it are all original. Like I said to you earlier, apart from one back door, which at some point in its life had a door skin and it was going really rusty, so I chucked that away, and I found another good second-hand door. But that was the only panel I changed, apart from obviously where
that's good going, isn't it? Really,
there's a little bit,
a little
bit of rust. There was no rust up the front end. I did a little bit of work on the rear chassis legs because they are notorious for it. For some reason, the Calibras were always good on the on the underside, and they had the same floor pan as the Mark III GSI. It was it's all independent rear suspension, unlike a normal Cavalier with a beam. So the rear end on a GSI is quite different. The boot floor is probably, I don't know, 4 inches higher than a normal Cavalier because of all the drivetrain underneath. So they're quite a hard shell to restore. But that was quite good. So I just basically prepped the shell, painted it, and then just built it back up with at the time all the good bits I could find. I mean, when I did mine, probably I reckon it was early 2008. It was straight after I'd finished the Mark 1. In actual fact, they were almost side by side for a bit. And at the time, nobody was bothered about old Cavaliers, so you could buy stuff on eBay for peanuts. I mean, I remember buying a front and rear bumper, brand new front and rear bumper shells, and they were like 99p. Plus postage.
Wow.
Headlights 99p because no one wanted them.
Yeah.
There's just no Mark III Cavalier bits. It was just like new old stock stuff, and it cost more for the postage than it did for the parts.
Yeah. Brilliant.
The parts for it was just ridiculously cheap back then.
Is that why you've got enough parts to build another one?
Yeah, I actually bought 2 GSIs. I broke one and kept all the spares. I brought a Calibra, broke that, kept all the spares. I brought an SRI saloon and broke that and kept all the spares. So I had loads and loads of spares. So I've obviously got rid of stuff over the years, but I've kept like lots of mechanical bits. You don't really need too much body stuff, but I've kept like loads of electrical stuff and loads of mechanical bits because you never know. Now you can't get nothing for them. You can get bits for your XE. For your engine, but even some of that is a bit mismatch. Like you really like crankshaft sensors. You really need an OE one, because the pattern ones just don't cut it. So there's some stuff you can get and lots of stuff you can't. So now, all these years on, all these lads doing them now, I don't know how they're finding the stuff because back in 2007, 2008, it was hard enough then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that car, I've not touched it in any way since it's been finished. I've put a battery on it, one battery only since all that time ago, and I've done some oil changes. And then, funny enough, last year when I took it for an MOT, it broke down on me.
Oh no!
First time ever. But it was I didn't get stranded. I knew what it was straight away. I mean, back in the day, they were quite common for fuel pump relay.
Yes, I had a Nova GSI.
Yeah. Basically, I opened the bonnet, the fuel pump relay was really hot, so I just took it out, blew on it for about 10 minutes, cooled it all down, put it back in. And
it was on the back of the firewall, wasn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, on my Nova GSI, it was on the back of the firewall. And sorry to hijack, but I bought my Nova. I was notorious for buying shit cars.
Yeah.
Brought it home to my dad. I was like, Dad, look what I've bought. Yeah. Went to turn it over for him and it wouldn't start because the fuel pump relay was too hot.
Yeah.
But trying to get one of them through Vauxhall back in 2001, something like that. I think I got the last one, and if they hadn't sold it, they were going to throw it away.
Yeah. Well, I actually brought one. I think they're made by Siemens. I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think I've got a Chinesian one in there now. Do you know what I mean? But it's all badged up like it should be, but it's definitely fake. Yeah. But it works. But I've still got my original one in the glove box just in case. And another new. I brought 2 new spare ones, but that's the only time it's ever played up.
It's impressive, isn't it?
And I literally like now, if I go to start it today, I'll just turn the ignition on, let the fuel pump, just crank it once or twice, back it off, do it again, and the second time it'll fire up straight away.
Yeah.
It's good as gold, mate, and you can drive that car anywhere. I tell you. You can drive that car
There's something
anywhere.
about Vauxhalls and
there's something about
drive that car
I
anywhere.
love
I'd go anywhere in it tomorrow. And the fuel economy on it, honestly, for an old 16 valve car, they were good back in the day, but still to this day it gets me how good it is on fuel.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good on fuel.
It was just one of them ones when I was doing boy racing in like the 90s. I had my little Nova, and there was always the lad who had his GSI. There was a couple of turbos floating about as well, and I thought, I'm going to get one of them next, and I didn't. But they were just the car that just...
Yeah, a lot of people have said to me, why didn't you ever get a turbo? I said, because I just never get round to it. No. I always loved, But yeah, that would definitely be the last car that I ever let go.
Is it?
Yeah, it'd be a real toss-up between that and the Mark 1 Escort, but
yeah,
I think the Cavalier will win.
It's just something that's such a good-looking saloon car.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at the time you had the Cozzies and all that, and they... performance-wise, they outrated the.
Yeah, no, I mean the Cozzies were 50 horsepower more.
Yeah, and they were turbocharged and all that. Until the Cavalier Turbo come out, there weren't really much to keep up with them.
No.
But the Cavalier, I think, is a better-looking car than the Sierra, definitely.
I'm going to agree with you there.
Yeah. And there's just something about it.
It's a bold one, mate.
I'll tell you why I love them so much, because I proper loved the 90s touring cars with like John Cleland and all that. And my Cavalier just reminds me of those days just so much. Such a good car they are.
It's funny because I've gone down a little 90s rabbit hole at the minute. I'm pretty infatuated by everything 90s, and I've not watched present day touring car, but I've found loads of clips of old 90s touring cars with like Will Hoy and Tim Harvey.
The Lagunas and the...
Yeah, the Lagunas.
I always like the Mondeo.
I'm slightly infatuated with the Nissan Primera at the minute.
Nissan Primera, the Alpha.
Yeah.
Even the T5s and the...
the 850 T5s.
Yeah,
I'm slightly infatuated by them.
Tim Harvey, he was mustard in that BMW.
Yeah, he was so good.
Plato in the Laguna.
Was it Gabriele Tarquini in the... Was he in the Alpha?
Yeah, 156.
156,
or 155, can't remember.
And there was Audi did the A4, didn't they?
They did. Yeah. So that
the
was
first four-wheel drive one.
What was the driver in the Audi? Began with an R.
It's not Radis. It wasn't Paul Radis because he drove Fords.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
He drove a Mondeo.
Yeah. No, it was.
We'll have to fire up the PlayStation to find
out. What was his name?
And then you had obviously.
What was the fucking
Cleland in the
Cavaliers.
Cavalier.
Yeah.
And who was in the other Cavalier? Was it what was his name? There was a few drivers.
Plato was out there, wasn't he? What was he?
Yeah, he was in the Lagunas.
He was in the Lagunas.
Yeah, good days.
That was a good looking car.
Good days.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, they were all good looking touring cars in my opinion. I mean, who would have thought a Nissan Primera would look as good as that?
Yeah, I remember me and you going Donington.
So I think they did them in a white livery to start, and then they did them in a red one, and they were sponsored by Team Dynamics.
Yeah, that's it. You know that is, don't you?
Matt Neal.
Yeah. I've met him a few times. Such a nice bloke.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
So you're going to touring cars soon, aren't you?
No, are we?
I am.
Oh no, you're not.
Oh no, Barry's got.
No, you're going.
I've got tickets.
No, I watch it on the TV.
Yeah.
But
that was a question the other day actually. Do you prefer watching motorsport live or on the TV?
TV.
It's much better on TV.
Yeah, I think TV you see everything.
Yeah,
it's nice to get the sound.
Yeah, you get the smell and it's nice to be there, but you only get vroom vroom vroom, don't you? That's it. On the TV you get everything.
I've said that about Formula One a lot. I'm quite lucky. I've been to a few Formula One races, but the coverage you get on the telly,
especially inside,
you see everything,
and
especially inside the cockpit.
Some of the races this year so far have been really boring, so it's a good opportunity to fall asleep. And have a little dose.
I've met a few of the touring car lads because back in the mid 2000s I was into my VXRs, so I had Astra, then Zafira, then Insignia, all bang 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 one after the other. And I used to do the VXR track days that was in conjunction with Vauxhall themselves.
Yeah.
So if you owned a VXR, you could go on these track days. So I did like Snetterton, Thruxton, Rockingham when it was a thing, Brands, loads of them, loads and loads of them. And they always used to have whoever was driving the touring cars at the time. They'd have those touring car drivers doing hot laps.
Nice.
So I'll never forget. I've met Matt Neal quite a few times. He's such a lovely bloke. I remember jumping into an Astra VXR with him. This was probably around about 2008, I reckon. 2009 at a push. It was Astra VXR, and we were at Rockingham, right? And I jumped in the car and I said to him, "All right, Matt." He's gone, yeah, how are we doing? I said, yeah, good. I said, right, you've got to pretend I'm Jason Plato. Right? And you absolutely hate me. And he goes, that's not a problem. And I'm telling you, he took me round Rockingham. Honestly, that was when I did need a bit of a sick bag after that. He's incredible, mate.
Oh, wicked.
He was just on it. Just killing this Astra. It was brilliant. But I've had hot laps with Paul O'Neill, Tom Chilton, Tom Onslow, Carl, loads of them. Even the Italian guy who was racing for Vauxhall at the time. I can't think of his name now. Giovanni. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, even him. I've been round. Mustard, mate. It was such good days they were.
Was the Vauxhalls involved when they done the Astra Coupe and it was a 888 version?
Yeah, so the 888 were involved. They were the guys who were building the cars.
Yeah.
So this is obviously pre-VXR days.
Yeah, that's just before the VXRs come out.
Yeah, so it was Astra Coupe, weren't
Yeah, Astra Coupe, and it had all the flared arches and everything.
You had one, didn't you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, blue one.
Yeah. I loved them.
Yeah.
They were one of my favourite coupes.
Yeah.
They're just fucking
And
nice.
then they
you
brought
can't
out,
find them.
I can't think which was first, whether it was Astra VXR touring car or Vectra touring car and then Astra VXR. I can't remember which way round they done it, but they did 3-door Astra H as a touring car, and then they also did Vectra hatch as well, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah. I'd have to research.
And they were all
it's
built.
going to be hard work researching that.
They were all built by 888.
Yeah.
And I've done they used to organise like cars and coffee mornings at 888 racing and all that, and you'd get a tour around the factory where they build all the touring cars. I did loads of that. It was such good. We also used to do Walkinshaw as well.
Yeah, TWI,
yeah. So because they were involved in the VXR8s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we used to do VXR meets there as well with a tour around the thing, and that's where you could see all the TWR cars. So the Capris, the Jaguars, and all that. That was just such good days. I did quite a lot with the Vauxhall and the VXR stuff. Dougie, who we know, who lives in Flitton, he was at the time.
Guy that you see yesterday.
Yeah. So he was VXR brand manager, so he used to organise everything.
He's coming on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bring him on. Anything about 90s Vauxhalls, mate.
There is one more question. So because you almost answered it there.
This is my new one.
No. Oh no, there's 2 more questions. So any track, any car, what would you do it in?
I wouldn't care what it was, but I love Snetterton.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a great track.
And it wouldn't matter what
No,
you did.
it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Little Fiesta.
Little Fiesta, single seater, whatever. Yeah, anything cool. Yeah, but I love Snetterton. I think it's great. I've done a few VXR days around there, and I loved it.
I've never done Snetterton.
Oh, it's great.
No, that hasn't come up
round
yet,
the back, through what they call the bomber and all that. It's an awesome track. I mean, I think any track's good.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just loved that.
Yeah.
I loved it there.
Wicked.
Good track.
Okay. Right. Dave, you got a question?
New question.
We need to add this to the wall.
For anybody, or I can find this at you two as well. If you could bring back any classic, but with modern running gear, so purely for looks, but would have the drivability and the handling and the technology of today.
It's like a resto mod.
Yeah. What would you bring back? If you say to one manufacturer, you could go forward and go, bring back the Mark 1 Escort or Jag for the E-Type or whoever.
Vauxhall Nova GSI or Mark II Fiesta XR2.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, XR2 is a good shout, yeah.
So I'd probably say the Capri.
Yeah, that would be my choice.
So because obviously
yes,
but because they brought out the horrible one that they brought out now, the electric one.
That's not a Capri.
No, it's not. It isn't a Capri.
Putting a Mustang badge on that.
Because they brought that out.
Why have they done that?
Yeah, they brought that out, and then there's been a lot of people online that have done like the AI. What would it look like if there was a bring out now?
Yeah, I've seen it look beautiful.
It is stunning.
Oh yeah, with those
the AI.
The 944 AI version, the resto mod.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that looks good. Even a Saab 900 Turbo.
Have you seen the AI imagery of if Chevy built a new pickup truck? They call it the Bel Air.
No,
it is beautiful.
Is it?
So, yeah, if I find it, if it pings up, I'll screen grab it and send it over.
Yeah.
You will love it.
someone needs to. Yeah, I think See, I could answer that question 1,000 times over.
Yeah, this is it.
I need a weed. Desperately.
We're literally going to finish now.
What's your bring back?
Capri.
Capri again.
Yeah, I'm with Russ on that.
Yeah, right. Did you want to answer it? Have you got time?
If I bought anything back?
Yeah.
With modern running gear, I hadn't even thought about it. It's my question. I didn't even think about it. No. I still kind of go back, maybe like DB4.
Oh.
DB4 with modern tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's a good call. Yeah.
I think a Capri would
something
be
like
good.
that.
Yeah.
See, I feel I've gone a bit.
There's loads of AI. There's loads of AI
Yeah,
stuff coming out in there with
Yeah.
like the Sierra Cosworth, the Escort Cosworth.
Yeah.
You know, there's loads of all that, but it's all, you know.
Hopefully they sort of take notice of all these people commenting and saying how much they like it, and they start doing them.
Right,
we're ending up because
nature calls.
So you do your little bit.
Like, comment, subscribe. Anything you want to see, get in our comments.
Yeah. There's merch available somewhere. Look at Dave, he's modelling it.
Yeah, I'm still
He is,
waiting.
And
is that an extra large?
No, it's an extra large.
Lord.
So they're available in all sizes.
And we've got stickers available. You can have those for your toolbox or something.
There's not enough to put one on each of his cars.
No, you need more. There's loads of them over there. There's loads of them over there. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for that, Lee.
No worries.
Cheers,
mate.
dude.
Out the door.
Cheers, mate.
Out the door.
Out the door, turn right. Carry on.
Come
Cheers,
on,
Dave.
Thank you. Enjoyable.
Yeah, enjoyed that, mate.
Nice one.